So, Chapter 6, Lesson 7 is equivalent expressions. And today we're going to learn to simplify expressions with one variable. And we're going to learn how to simplify expressions with two variables. So, the first thing we need to take a look at is our vocabulary. Okay, I want you to make sure you write all of this vocabulary in your spiral. These are the new vocabulary words. We have term, coefficient, constant, and like terms. So, all right, so when addition or subtraction signs separate an algebraic expression into parts, each of those parts is called a term. The numerical factor of a term that contains a variable is called a coefficient. It's the number part. So, for example, well, I'll give the example in just a minute. A constant is a term that has no variable, and like terms are terms that contain the same variables. Okay? So if I look at this diagram here, okay, each one of those, 3x plus 7 plus x, each one of those is a term. Okay? Each one of those is a term. Now, the term 3x, let's see here, the term 3x right here is a 3x, right? The coefficient is the numerical part. The coefficient is the numerical part. Now, 7, right here, 7 is the constant. The reason why it's a constant is because it doesn't change. It has no variable. It has no variable that will allow it to vary. It's always going to be 7. Another constant, 5. It's always going to be 5. 13 is always going to be 5. 85 is always going to be 85. It doesn't change, right? Because there's no variable on it. So, any number that has no variable is a constant, okay? And then like terms. Like terms are terms that contain the same variables. So here I've got 3x plus 7 plus x. The 3x and the x, because they have the same variable, those are like terms. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to simplify expressions with one variable. Now, to simplify an algebraic expression, you use properties to write an equivalent expression that has no like terms and no parentheses. Okay? So here, for example, we have 3 plus 3 is equal to 2 times 3, because repeated addition is multiplication, so we could write that as 2 times 3. And then we have that's equal to 6. So those are our 3 different equivalent expressions, right? So for when we have variables, we have x plus x. So that's x plus x, that's equal to 2x. So we're going to simplify the expression 4 times 6x. Now, when we simplify that kind of expression, the multiplication, remember, we can multiply in any order we want to thanks to the associative property of multiplication, right? We can multiply in any order we want to. So here, we're going to move the parentheses so that we have all of our like terms. In this case, they're both constants in the parentheses. So we have 4 times 6, quantity 4 times 6, times x. So 4 times 6 is equal to 24, and then we bring down the x. Okay? So, let's try some together. So here we have 3, the quantity of 3 times x, times 11. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to put our constants, or together in the parentheses. So the like terms, or the constants, so this is going to be 3 times 11 times x. So 3 times 11 is?
33.
33, and then we're just going to bring down the x. So my answer is 33x. Next, example B. Now here we have x plus x plus x. So here I can use my associative property to group my variables, my terms. So I'm going to go ahead and group the first two. And when I group here, now I have the quantity of x, right? What's x plus x? 2x. Now let's take a look at here. You guys, take a look at this. Here, how many x's do you have right there? Right there is 1. That is 1x. How about right there? How about right there? How many x's are right there? That's 1x. How about right there? That's 1x. So here, 1x plus 1x is equal to?
2x.
2x. Very good. So we've got 2x plus 1x, and then 2x plus 1x is 3x. Is everybody clear? So for example C, once again, we want to put our like terms together. So with 7x plus 8 plus x, what are the like terms?
7 and 8.
7x, no, 7x and x, right? Not 8, because there's no variable on it, right? Do you see any variable on the 8? So because there's no variable, it is not the like terms, okay? So we're going to put the 7x plus the x, and that's going to be plus 8. So 7x plus x is equal to 8x. And then we bring down the rest. So plus 8. And that's all there is to it. All right, for the next example, it says 3 friends will pay X dollars, sorry, not a dollar. 3 friends will pay X dollars each for admission to a museum, plus $1 each to view a mummy exhibit, okay? A 4th friend will pay admission, but no, I'm not going to see that mummy, right? So, write and simplify an expression that represents the total cost. So here, we know for one person to go to the museum and see the mummy, what are they going to pay? $1 and X dollars for admission, right? So for one person, that's going to be X plus 1. How many are going and seeing the mummy? 3. So that's where we're going to get the 3 times the quantity X plus 1, right? Then they have another friend who's not going to see the mummy. What are we going to add to the expression there? They're going to go to the museum, but they're not going to see the mummy. So you're adding an X because it's X dollars to go to the museum, right? But that person is not going to see the mummy, so that person is only going to pay X dollars to get in, right? Does that make sense? So now we're going to simplify it. So here we start off with 3 times the quantity X plus 1 plus the other X. So what does that look like to you in red? What property? Distributive. So we're going to take that 3 and we're going to send it through the parentheses. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. And then we tack on that plus x. Now at that point, now we can start putting our like terms together. So 3x plus x is 4x, and then we bring down the 3. So the expression for their total cost is $4x plus $3. All right, so we want to write and simplify an expression for the total cost, and now this time 6 friends to go to the museum if only 4 friends view the mummy exhibit. Okay, so let's write some important information here. Okay, how many friends are going? 6. So we have 6 friends. Go to museum. How much does it cost? X dollars, right? Good. Now, what else do we know? 4 only want to see the mummy. How much does it cost to see the mummy? $1. Very good. Now, how am I going to write, how can I separate this 6 to who's going and who's not going to see the mummy? What plus what? How many are going to see the mummy? 4. And the other 2 are going to wait outside, right? So this is going to be 4 plus 2, right? That's just going to help us figure out what our expression is. So, how much is it going to cost for those 4 people to go to the museum and see the mummy? X dollars plus 1, right? So, there's our expression. So, that's X plus 1. And again, how many people are going? 4, right? So we're going to take that whole thing and multiply times 4. Now we have to add the cost of the people who are waiting out of the mummy exhibition, right? So, plus they're only paying for admission, so there's 2 of them. 2x, very good. 2x. All right, so here, when we simplify, what does this first part look like to you? What property? The distributive property, right? So, we're going to take the 4 and multiply it times everything inside the parentheses. So, we have 4 times x, which is 4x, plus 4 times 1, which is 4, plus that other 2x. So now we can put our like terms together, right? So when we do that, what are the like terms? The 4x and the 2x. Very good. So we've got 4x plus 2x plus 4. Okay? So 4x plus 2x is 6x plus $4 for the mummy. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to simplify expressions with 2 variables. Okay, now again, you got to keep in mind, you can only add if they're like terms. All right, properties can be used to simplify or to factor expressions with 2 variables. We want to compare the effects of operations on numbers to the effects of operations on variables. Now let's take a look at what we have here. We have, remember that 3 plus 3 thing again? So we have 3 plus 3 plus 4. Here, 3 plus 3 can be rewritten as 2 times 3, and then plus 4. Now over here, with the variables, we have x plus y. So here, x plus x is 2x, and then we have plus y. Is everybody clear?
Yeah.
So for the first example, we want to simplify the expression 14y plus x plus 22y. Once again, we're going to put our like terms together. So the like terms are the ones that have the same variable. Look up there, right? So we have 14y and 22y. Those are the same. That's what goes in the parentheses together. So we are able to add those. So now we end up with 36y plus x. That's it. For example 4, this is simplifying using the distributive property. So here, we're going to take that 4 and multiply it times everything inside the parentheses. So 4 times 2x and 4 times y. 4 times 2x is 8x, right? And 4 times y is 4y. And that's all there is to that. All right. Now, factoring. We did some of this yesterday, right? So, we're going to factor, and then we're going to rewrite using the distributive property. So, here, for 27x plus 18y, the 27 breaks down to 3 times 3 times 3 times x. The 18y breaks down to 2 times 3 times 3 times y. So now we're going to circle what they have in common. So here they have 3's in common. 2 pairs of 3's. So the greatest common factor is 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 is the greatest common factor, which is the number that we are going to factor out when we rewrite using the distributive property. So, rewriting using the distributive property, we've got, we're factoring out the 9, and we're left with 3 times x. So 9 is there, and then there's the 3 times x, what's left over in the row. Does everybody see that? And then down here, there's the 9, and what's left in this row is 2y. That 9 is what's getting factored out. There it is right in front of the parentheses. Now what's left over is the 3x and the 2y. So it's 9 times the quantity of 3x plus 2y. Can I add those two together? No, because one's an x term and one is a y term. Is everybody clear? All right, so let's do these together. So we want to simplify 3x plus 9y plus 2x. So we're just going to see what our like terms are. What are the like terms? 3x and 2x. Very good. So here we have 3x plus 2x plus 9y. I will rewrite that before I post it on the classroom website. So 3x plus 2x is 5x, good. And then we bring down the 9y, and there's your final answer. Okay? So now, for letter F, for example F, we are going to simplify using what? What do you think? What does that look like? The distributive property. Very good. So we're going to take that 7 and we're going to multiply it times everything inside the parentheses. So here we're going to have 7 times 3x, which is 21x, plus 7 times y is 7y. Can I add those together? No. Very good. All right, example G. All right, so the next example, we are going to factor the sum 2x plus 8y. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, 12x. We're going to break down the 12x. So for 12, that's 4 times 3, right? And then the 4 breaks down to 2 times 2. So this is going to be 2 times 2 times 2. Oops, times. That's supposed to be a 3, right? 2 times 2 times 3 times x, right? And then the 8y breaks down to 2 times 2 times 2. Good. 2 times 2 times 2 times y. Very good. Now we want to circle what they have in common. So we've got some 2's there. We've got another set of 2's. Anything else? Nope. All right. So now, what am I factoring out? What's the GCF? What's the GCF? 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's going to be on the outside of the parentheses. What's left on the inside? 3 times x, which is 3x, plus 2 times y, which is 2y. The farmer's market sells fruit baskets. Each basket has 3 apples and 1 pear. Use A to represent the cost of each apple and P to represent the cost of each pear. Write and simplify an expression that represents the total cost of 5 baskets. So, we want to know how much does it cost for apples? A. And how many apples are there in each basket? 3, right? So the cost of those 3 apples is 3 times A, so 3A. How many pears are in one basket? 1. And how much does it cost? P, right? Dollars, right? So for the cost of one basket, it will be 3A plus P. Now, the question says, how many for 5 baskets? So, we've got the 3A plus P, and we are multiplying that times 5 baskets, right there. And then we will use the distributive property to simplify. Is everybody clear?
Yes.